Hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We're a little bit earlier than lately. We've been late in the afternoon. But I wanted to say hey and talk about, if you max capacity, you're not going to 10x your anything, right? And I'm going to explain why. And it dawned on me while I was playing with trains, and I'll put a post up later on LinkedIn and stuff and X and maybe even Facebook on my logic behind saying this, because we were trying to play with the trains. He couldn't change out stuff fast enough, and his enjoyment was getting lower because he wanted to play all the trains on the thing, but there wasn't room to do it. So I want to talk about today and how that affects your teams, how it affects yourself, and the idea of being at max capacity is a good thing. It's not, right? So let's talk about that today on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. And I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And before I move along, just a reminder, still got the veterans thing out. I didn't put a post up. I need to put a post up to encourage veterans. I have 5 spots open for coaching for veterans. And as I fill them up, there'll be so many spots left, but I'm going to keep it open to the new year. Still haven't really marketed out and pitched out yet. But if anybody knows any veterans that could take advantage of it, I'll probably send some message out to veterans. I'm connected with LinkedIn and see if they know anybody or themselves would like to take advantage of that. I'll probably let them know. But today, it's our 10X. It's our 2-4-1 Tuesday, where you 10X your career, your team, what you're doing, your output. Works for anything in life. It varies both, but it applies to both teaming, coaching, your own personal thing, your own personal career, usually on these Tuesdays. And today, we're going to talk about getting more value out of your time without working extra hard and having a little fun along the way. And my son and I were having fun the other day. I got the train set up, and you can see there's train stuff behind me. Up there, there's a train there. There's a steam engine thing going there, fire engine. And there's some train stuff over here. There's a little signal thing. And we were having fun down in the basement, putting the trains up. And one of the things I noticed, because I'll have a picture of it, you'll see my table. It's full of trains right now. It's like maxed out. I still have some trains on the shelves that aren't out. And I have stuff on the wall. So visualize this when you see this picture. Visualize your backlog. Like the stuff running on the train is what you got working. The stuff in the yard on the bottom, the stuff potentially you could work on, and things you want to run. And then the stuff on the wall may be some of your backlog. And I can do a whole series of posts, maybe I will, of different things and how it describes your backlog. But I want to talk about today how being max capacity prevents you having fun. So we'll run the trains. My son's like, hey, I want to run the Santa Fe, or I want to run the old steam engine, or I want to run, I got a couple electric trains from like European design that he wanted to do. And oh, by the way, these are all used trains. Only new train I ever bought was a Thomas train set. That was it. So all the other trains I have are used, bought them deals. People like, oh, I just want to get rid of it. And I'm like, ooh, I'll pay $40 for that, or I'll pay $100 for that engine. And so I did. Over time is a lot of money, but I never spent a lot of money on any particular one. But when we were running the trains, and it's just like your team, this is just like your life. If your backlog, your in-process load is so high, what we couldn't do was, okay, I want to change out this train for the other one. Problem was, every little spot on the table was full of a train. So we had to kind of like grab a train one at a time, grab one off the table and take the train off the track, put it on the table, and then do each train in order to do it. It was so packed out, maximized, that we couldn't quickly transition into a new job. So like you never want to be over 80% capacity on your team. And you might say, but I'm not getting full use. Problem is, and this is where the 10X comes in. Let's say something fun or enjoyable or rewarding for your team or your company shows up. You're not in a quick way of being adjust and get in there and take on the new work. Just like he's like, oh, I want to run this train. Well, rather than doing it, like if we had space, if we had like a whole open space that we can transition whole train sets or whatever that we had, well, probably need like 2 open space. Think of it this way, 2 open space. So if I do a long train, I can replace it with another long train. But if I want to do an individual train, like we have a couple trolleys and things like that, that's one train length, I need an extra space to take the big train off, to pull the trolley down and stuff like that. So you need like 2 spaces, right? 2 train lengths of space to be able to transition. And this prevented him from like really sitting there and doing it, because he was enjoying himself and everything, watching trains and fixing them and getting the work and all. But it prevented him from maximum enjoyment of the trains, because it took so long to transfer one set to another set. And he was more worried about gerrymangling room on the track, on the board, than playing with the trains. Same goes with your teams and yourself. You're so worried about repositioning stuff. Hey, this was a priority. I got all these things in here, but now I want to get this one because maybe it's a bigger return on investment for my team or my company. But I'm so packed with stuff, I don't have room, right? And you may think that you're not getting full value, but I want to say that 20%, having it flexible, open for new work or whatever, maybe you're 10x for your career, maybe 10x for your company, maybe 10x for your team. Maybe that one thing that the CEO comes down and knocks on your door, I want this. And you're like, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Whatever it is, we'll do it. You got to move all that other stuff on the table because it's been packed up to the hilt of stuff. You have no flexibility. Or maybe your customer says, oh, by the way, we just got a bug. We got a company and they're trying to make $1 million order tomorrow. And we need to get this up going in there. You don't have the flexibility and not have to touch anything, reposition anything that you're currently doing. Just kind of shut it down and pick something up and start working on it, right? Because if you're maximum capacity, you have to button up everything. You have to move some stuff out of your pot to make room and mental room and everything to do your work. And that slows you down, right? So think about this. Maximum capacity is wrong. Don't do it. I'm not saying do 60%. I'm not saying, we only do 6. Like, you want like 80%, right? You don't want to be max, but you want enough room that you can have a 20% surge and bring it in, and it doesn't change anything you're doing. You still got the stuff you got. You brought new stuff in. Didn't really impact what you're doing. Now, if you have a habit of bringing lots of new stuff in, that's a different problem. That's a different animal. But if you have 20%, it gives you ability to bring stuff in when you have bandwidth, right? To take advantage of situations because you're not maxed out. If you're scheduled to hilt to everything on the planet through the week, but someone has an opportunity, hey, let's go to lunch. And by the way, that lunch is probably going to maybe be $1 million a business agreement or something like that. But you're so maxed out, you can't make lunch with that person for 2 weeks. That person is a busy person. You may miss out on your opportunity because you don't have enough flexibility in your schedule to take that lunch with somebody who will give you that $1 million for your company or give you a contract, right? So think about it as you go. Think about that 80% maximum capacity. Don't do it. Don't go above 80. Keep it open so that something happens during a sprint, things can come in. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I noticed my one team, they lower their initial capacity because they know they're trying to fix it. They're not there yet, but they're going to get stuff in the middle of the sprint, right? And they would actually been able to achieve more work than they originally planned for in the sprint because of that. And their velocity has gone up. We'll talk about that another day. So I wanted to share that with you today. Don't over capacity. Don't hit maximum capacity. Stay at about 80%. Give yourself enough 20% of room for stuff that comes up that may 10x your whole career, 10x your team, 10x what you do. Have more fun. Maybe they got, hey, we got baseball tickets, whatever. Who knows? And you can go enjoy it and have some fun. Leave 20% in there. And then if you don't take it up, use that 20% for some fun for your team. Take the breath off, Anyway, I want to wish you all the best. Don't forget veterans. If you know a veteran, I got 5 coaching spots that I'm offering like a 6-month thing. It's my normal coaching gig that I do one-on-one personal coaching for 5 veterans this year. And it ends in December 2024, which is soon to come. So the end of the year of 2024 will be the close out of that 5-person opening. Probably offer again on Memorial Day. I'd kind of do it every Veterans Day, every Memorial Day. So with that, have a great day. Take care. Don't maximize capacity and sacrifice for potential value. Okay. Bye.